let me go across to Priyanka. Priyanka, take us through the procedure now. What happens from now until the 22nd? And on the 22nd, why don't you tell our viewers about the official ceremony and all that's involved?
Well, that's right, Niranjan. The journey of the idol, as I was also describing earlier, that of course, you know how the scriptures had been made, the sketches had been made by the architects and then had been given to the three sculptors that had been selected, two from Karnataka, one from Rajasthan, and all of these three sculptors had been holed up in Ayodhya, and then of course for 6 to 8 months they had made this idol, and out of this there were two other idols as well that had been made out of white marble as well, but this one is of course of black marble that has been selected of Arun Yogiraj, and then of course since the Anushthan had been going on day before yesterday, the idol had in fact been immersed in all of this holy water, etc., and then of course we had seen that the idol had made that journey from the place where the yagna was being carried out towards the temple. Now in the temple there was a 100-meter parikrama that had been done. Now as far as rituals go, Niranjan, the idol was supposed to be carried by the saints and seers across the entire city, but you know, this is the entire city that we're talking about. The number of people who are outside here, and how the government machinery in fact had stated that there might be a law and order situation if that idol is carried out in this procession across the city, because there will be hundreds of people who will be wanting to see the idol, who will want to touch the idol, and if God forbid there is any kind of mishap, there will be a huge law and order situation, because of which the idol was then made to do a parikrama of 100 meter inside of the temple premises itself, and then of course had been placed in the sanctum sanctorum, which has also been made out of white marble, white Makrana marble, and we've seen those pictures as well, Niranjan, of how the idol stands out because it is made out of black marble in the entire garbhagriha of the entire sanctum sanctorum, which has been made out of white Makrana marble. So it's quite a sight to really see when we look at the sanctum sanctorum pictures with the idol inside. And now, of course, speaking about the rituals, as we were talking about it, there will be a lot of rituals. There was Jal Yatra that was being carried out yesterday. Now today again there is also a lot of yagnas that is being carried out. This is all being conducted by the saints and seers of Kashi who are present inside of the Ram temple. Once again, to reiterate, of course, nobody is allowed to go inside, but near the sanctum sanctorum itself, the main puja is being carried out. Now today and tomorrow as well, that will be done, because from tomorrow, that is 20th till 22nd, no devotees will be allowed to go inside, because right now this is the route that leads up to the main temple, and you can see the number of people who are wanting to go inside and do the darshan of the Ram temple, but
can I just ask you to just hold on for a second? I'm getting in Abhishek as well. Abhishek is joining us on the phone line. Sorry to interrupt you there, Priyanka. While I have you live, I'll just get in a word from Abhishek as well. Abhishek, that's the first picture that we have of the Ram Lalla idol without a blindfold. It's a mesmerizing picture. In fact, that's the first feeling that anybody gets when you look at that glowing image of Lord Ram, perhaps as a 5-year-old. Abhishek, your thoughts when you look at this picture and what we have ahead of us?
Well, Niranjan, you know, obviously goosebump moments. So this is a picture, of course, taken earlier. In the present instance, as we speak, the Ramlala idol has the eyes covered, because that's how the ritual is, that when the Pran Pratishtha happens, only after that the eyes are opened and in front of a mirror, because of the energy that's there when the Lord arrives in the body of the idol. The ritual is that the mirror breaks. So we are getting a picture of earlier time, maybe taken a few days or perhaps when it was made. But the Lord Ram Lalla as of now remains with his eye covered, as it happens, as it is given in the text. Lord Ram was of a sham complexion, as it is called, a dark complexion, and that was to represent the blue-black lotus of similar to that of Lord Vishnu. And since he was the avatar of Vishnu, that's why Ram is supposed to have a dark skin. And with a lot of deliberation and thought, this stone was selected. And now we are seeing the idol roop of Lord Ram Lalla. Of course, when the Pran Pratishtha happens, that's after that you start believing that God actually resides in the idol, and then you communicate as a devotee with your Lord in that idol. So that ritual is going on. Remember, Pran Pratishtha processes started a couple of days back, and 22nd January would be the culmination when, in the presence of all the Yajman, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi as one of them, the eyes of the Lord would be opened, and among the chants of the scriptures, the God would be invited to reside in this very idol that we are seeing in the pictures, Niranjan.
Yes. Abhishek, on the 22nd, why don't you tell our viewers the process, the Pran Pratishtha, the rituals, the traditions, and how it's going to unfold on Monday?
So every day, some or the other ritual is happening, Niranjan, already. Earlier, the plan was that Lord Ram Lalla would be taken around the town and he would be visiting all the temples, and then he would come back to the temple and installed at the Garbhagriha. Now we are told that there are going to be 3 images of the Lord Ram Lalla. One is, of course, the small one, Lord Ram Lalla, which has existed in Ayodhya since 1947-48, when he appeared inside the Babri structure, and which is a small one. Remember, almost like the palm of your hand, and many of us have done the darshan there. The Lord Ram Lalla, which remained in a tent for 3 decades after 1992, and then since then has been in a makeshift temple structure. That Lord Ram Lalla would be there next to this Lord Ram Lalla, which we are seeing, for which the Pran Pratishtha would happen. And then there would be another Lord Ram Lalla idol, like you see in Bhubaneswar, for example, when once a year the Lord Jagannath comes out and goes out for a city tour to meet his devotees. Similarly, an arrangement is being made so that if the temple trust so decide that once a year Lord Ram Lalla has to go and do around town of
Abhishek,
Ayodhya.
I think Dushyant Sridhar is also on the phone line. Abhishek, do you want to take a question with him? Vedic scholar Dushyant Sridhar on the phone line. Do you want to take a question with him, Abhishek?
I mean, who better than Dushyant Sridhar, Niranjan, to really explain to you the rituals and the exact moment when the Pran Pratishtha happens, when the priests invite the god to come and reside in the idol so that the idol gets a life of its own. I think Dushyant can explain better.
Namaskaram to all your viewers.
Dushyant, a lot of people watched what you had to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I did get to see, like you all, the Divya Mangala Murti of Prabhu Sri Ramachandra. And what I understand from it is being showcased as Balarama, as in his childhood days. And looking at the curly hair tresses, I'm reminded of a shloka in the Valmiki Ramayana which says, Kakapaksha dharam veeram jeshtham me daatumarhasi. Kakapaksham denotes the curly tresses that hang on either sides of the temple locks, and that was the fashion of those days. And probably commentators say that Rama was a fashionista. So probably those hair tresses remind me of Valmiki's shloka. And then there is a prabha. There is an arch, and in that arch we also see 2 eternal servants, Seshabhutas to Prabhu Sri Ramachandra. One is Garuda and the other is Hanuman. I also witnessed the Dashavatara in the Prabha. So that also reminds the central figurine, which is denotive of Narayana or Vishnu. And then, of course, the Netra Unmilanam, the opening of the eyes, will happen on the 22nd of January, is what I presume. With respect to Prana Pratishtha, Abhishek, it is a very important kriya that happens when a new temple is formed, because we don't have any of the murtis that existed before the demolition of the temple by Babur. So what we have exactly now is a new murti. So for a new murti, a Prana Pratishtha has to happen. And following that, there will be the establishing of the other sannidhis based on the panchayat of worship. And they will also adhere to the agamic rules. And something very interesting that I noted a few days back is when a lot of purohits were reciting verses from the Shukla Yajurveda. Interestingly, Ramayana says that Dasharatha and his ancestors belong to the Shukla Yajurveda. I was very happy to note that Shukla Yajurveda and Shatapatha Brahmana were being recited. So all this does say that besides the overall national sentiment, there is also the adherence to the Shastras as much as possible. And kudos to the temple authority